Hi there, and thank you for joining me for today's live reading of Broken, a Green Street Girls romance by N.D. Jackson, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Prologue, Indigo, 1.5 years ago. I'm dying, Indy, and not even your genius brain can change that fact. Inside the private hospital room that we all made sure Charlie received during her final days, final weeks on this earth, I could hardly look at my best friend, my sister. She was so tiny, so frail and colorless in the bed that had become her home for almost a month at this point. Charlie had the big personality of our little group. She was larger than life, and now she was sick and dying. I'm not ready to believe that yet, I told her honestly, because it was the truth. There are still treatment options to look into. In fact, I just read a paper from Switzerland that shows promise. Indy, stop it, please. Her voice was weak and pleading, and my mouth snapped shut. I love that big brain of yours, and I appreciate that you're using it to try and save my life, but it's useless. I'm dying, and there are no two ways about it. She flashed a lopsided smile that I knew I would remember forever. I shook my head. It's too soon. You're too young, Charlie. Please. Charlie was the sister of my heart, along with Athena and Gwyn. We made our life for ourselves in Chicago, taking it by storm, some might say, but none of our successes, none of our money could save us from this. Losing Charlie. She nodded. I'm too young and too fucking vibrant to leave this earth so soon, but here we are, Indigo. I'm the one who's dying, and all I'm asking is for you to accept it. I don't want to spend my last days trying treatments I know won't work. I don't want to spend whatever time I have left sick and pumped full of meds. You don't know that's how it will be, I insisted, feeling for the first time in years like the scared little girl I was when I landed on Green Street all those years ago. You can't know that. I can, she nodded, and I do. The doctors have confirmed it. Everything is shutting down, and it's just a matter of time now. I swiped at a lone tear that slipped down my cheek at Charlie's words. She was dying, leaving us, leaving me forever. I'm not ready. As the youngest of our foursome, the girls rarely expected me to be the strong one, to keep my emotions in check, but here and now, for Charlie, I had to try. Sorry. Don't ever apologize for who you are, Indy. I love you just as you are. I just need you to accept that this is happening. You can even cry if you want to. I smiled and shook my head. I can be strong for you. I will. Charlie barked out a laugh, which produced a harsh cough that terrified me down to my core. Her thinning blonde hair practically trembled as the cough shook her body, and her pale skin turned red from the force of her coughing. I don't need you to be strong, Indigo. I need you to come here. She patted a small spot on the large bed and nodded before she flashed an encouraging smile at me like I was a skittish street kitten. In bed with you? She nodded. What are they going to do? Kick me out? She coughed again, and the sound made me wince. It was yet another sign that Charlie's time with us was limited. Athena, Gwyn, and I paid good money for this room, so I knew she was safe from that fate, and climbed on the wide bed and curled my body against hers. There, Charlie cooed. Isn't that better? It would be if you weren't so skinny. She laughed. Right? All it took was dying for me to finally reach my goal weight. Not funny. I groaned and rolled my eyes. Charlie's macabre sense of humor was one of the best things about her, and I let myself laugh despite my words. Now I know that's a lie because we all know I'm the funny one. Possibly the hot one too, she whispered. Don't tell the others. I laughed again. Leave it to Charlie to make me laugh when the last thing in the world I wanted to do was laugh, to enjoy life when the sister of my heart was lying in a hospital bed that would be the last place she ever slept. Your secret is safe with me. Oh no, she groaned. Please tell them at the funeral. In fact, I insist you tell them just before the funeral so they know who the boss bitch was. Charlie, I laughed and wiped away tears at the same time. How will I keep going without you? She wrapped her tiny arms around me and squeezed as tight as she was capable of, which wasn't all that much. Disease had ravaged her body until there was very little of it remaining. That's easy. I want you to keep going. I need you to. It's my dying wish. One of them, anyway. I pulled back and stared into Charlie's brown eyes. One of them? She nodded and her smile returned. Exactly that. You see, I've been doing some thinking while I've been stuck here in this bed, getting sicker and sicker. We've formed this great little family, haven't we? I nodded because that's exactly what we were, family. All of us had been kicked out or forced out of our family homes, and some twist of fate brought us all to the same crappy little apartment building in Chicago. Hesitant friendships formed, and soon after, we were sisters, family. We have. My voice was shaky, and I was on the verge of tears again, but I blinked them back and listened to Charlie. But we've gotten ourselves stuck in this bubble that isn't real life. We all work and make a fuck ton of money, but none of us have done anything to overcome our pasts. I disagree. Our success and our family are proof we have overcome those pasts. I grew up on the poor side of dirt poor, and now I own my own company, thanks to the investment of my sisters. Professionally, yes, we are all thriving, you more than the rest of us by miles. But when was the last time you were on a date, kissed a man, let a man touch you? I looked away at her questions because I knew exactly when. It's been a while, I hedged. She laughed. The day after your 21st birthday, Indy, that's when it was. A perfectly good date with a really hot computer geek who gave good conversation and even let you have one of his bacon-wrapped dates. Marty. He was good-looking with designer black glasses that shielded beautiful blue eyes, and he had been all the things Charlie said. But then he went in for a goodnight kiss, and I freaked the hell out. I remember, vividly. And no one who knows your past can blame you for that. But you stopped trying after that. You live in these hoodies and jeans, hiding all of your goodies from the world just to make sure no one ever asks you out again. She squeezed my hand to take the sting off her words. But even that doesn't work, my beautiful, red-headed badass. I rolled my eyes. Charlie, please. Nope. She shook her head, and just as she started to speak again, a horrific coughing fit began. It was so harsh, I swear I could hear her bones rattling. Sorry, fucking cancer. Charlie, I jumped off the bed and went to the pitcher of cool water beside the bed. Drink, I ordered. She took a few sips of water and sighed. Thanks. Anyway, like I was saying, it's time for you to put the past behind you, Indigo. Look towards the future. I do that every single day, I insisted. For your company and your employees, sure. You're always looking towards the next game drop or software release, but we both know that's not what I'm talking about. I knew it, and I didn't want to get her riled up again, so I nodded. Good. Now come back here so we can get this settled. Charlie patted the bed, and I curled into her arms once more. I'll tell you the same way I told Athena. You can hate me for what I'm about to do when I'm gone. It's unfair, and I know it, but I'm asking. No, I'm requesting it anyway. I froze because I hated the talk of Charlie being gone. The world wouldn't make sense without her brash personality and lively smile. She was the one who pulled me out of my shell and acted as the mother I'd lost far too early in life. I hate it when you talk like this. She sighed. I know, but my estate has been settled, so this is personal. You don't have to do it, but if you don't, I will spend all of eternity finding a way to come back to haunt you. I laughed reluctantly and clutched her hand in mine. I'm listening, Charlie. Another coughing attack that turned her pale skin bright red lasted more than a minute before she settled back against the bed. Damn, that's rough. I sat up and stared at her. I'll go see if they can give you more meds. No, after I say this, I'll dose myself, she said, and held up the button that would pump more pain meds into her small frame. I want you to let go of the past, of that wicked asshole who took away your safety and your innocence, your whole fucking childhood. Put him and the rest of it behind you and reach for the future. Stop living your life afraid that every man is like him. They aren't. You are a little badass, and I want you to find someone who sees that and who loves that about you. Someone who can protect you when you need it and let you shine the rest of the time. Charlie, that's not my path. I wasn't that woman. I was most comfortable in the background, letting others shine as long as I got to do what I loved. It wasn't, but it is now. You deserve all the best things in this world, Indigo, and I want you to have them. To do that, you need to be open to the possibility. I am. I wasn't. You're not, she said with a strained smile that turned into another coughing fit. You've closed yourself up into your own little world of us girls and the people who work for you. I go out. I attend at least a dozen conferences a year for the past few years. Charlie held up a hand. 2 words. Work related. My shoulders fell. Share a meal with a man. Engage the next time someone chats you up. Don't let him take your future too, Indy. Please. I knew the him she spoke about and looked away because I tried not to think about him as often as possible. Weeks had passed since I thought of my stepfather, the only father I ever really knew, but her words, her dying wish, brought his bloodshot eyes and alcohol-drenched breath back in full color. I'll try. No, you'll do it, Indy. Your success, the life you have created here, is enough of a big fat fuck you to him. It's time, and I'm sure your therapist has told you this too. She has thousands of times, and I will, when I'm ready. Get ready, Buttercup, because this is my dying wish. She flashed another smile, and this one lacked the light, the glint of mischief that always lit her eyes. You are wicked, I told her, and buried my face in her neck. The sharp edges of her collarbone dug into me, but I ignored it. But you know I can't deny you anything, no matter how terrifying the ask. I will try like hell, I promise. Everything you try turns to magic, Indigo, so I have no doubt you will fall in love and have the most earth-shattering orgasms the city has ever heard. I laughed. Of course you go straight to the orgasms. Just wait, she said with a sad smile. You'll see what I mean. I was doubtful, but I kept that to myself. You should stick around and find out for yourself. At my words, another tear fell, and then another. If I could, I would love to be here teasing and encouraging you every step of the way. Her sigh was as sad as her half smile. Since that's not an option, I'm trusting you to keep your promise to me. You know that I will. It might take me some time, but I won't let you down, Charlie. I love you. I love you too. Her voice cracked and more tears came for both of us. I'm going to miss you so much. Right back at you, girl. She blinked and tears hovered on what was left of her blonde lashes. Machines sounded all around us, beeping and clicking a symphony of death. Gray skies outside looked and felt as ominous and foreboding as what was to come. The lights inside the hospital room washed us all in a golden glow that gave each of us Charlie's sick pallor. Each of us tried to ignore what was happening as we ate Lou Malnati's and sat cross-legged on her bed because Charlie said the greasy, deep dish was the last smell she wanted to remember. We spent more time in that hospital room than we did in our respective homes during her last days. It was like the old days, all of us crammed into one shoebox apartment, talking and laughing and sharing late into the night. Gwyn, Athena, and I spent the last 19 days of Charlie's life in that hospital room, a haze of tears and heartache as we relived the life and times of us, the Green Street Girls.